Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, this is lecture number 21 and the topic of today's lecture is how to prepare for a scholarship interview. This topic is part of the course of communication skills. I am your teacher Muhammad Asif Khan, lecturer, Department of English, Kohat University of Science and Technology. In today's lecture, we are going to study the following points, and the first thing is that we will review the definition of an interview, and after that I will tell you that why do we need a scholarship. Then comes the objectives of scholarship interview, and after that we will look at the stages that how can we prepare a scholarship interview. The first step in preparation of the scholarship interview is that we should gather information. After that we have to prepare common interview questions that are related to scholarship interviews. It will be followed by those qualities that interviewers are looking for in the candidates that are appearing in scholarship interviews. After that I will tell you about the choice of proper attire, and from attire we means clothing. Another important factor will be discussed, and that is planning on the day before your interview. And then comes the day of the interview. What is the strategy which we should adopt on the day of interview? And in the end I will give you a brief info about your performance during the interview, that what measures you should take that will make your interview a success. So starting from the definition of the interview, which we studied in the last lecture, and that is that an interview is a process. It is a procedure basically that is designed to obtain information from a person, and that person is the interviewee, and the person who is seeking or obtaining that information, he is interviewer, and the medium they use is that the interviewer, he asks questions or he do oral inquiries, and interviewee respond to these oral inquiries in oral form. So basically interview is the way of face-to-face conversation between the interviewer, the person who is asking question, and the interviewee, the person who is responding or replying these questions. So we see that in an interview, the interviewer seeks replies from the interviewee, and all these things are happening for choosing a potential human resource. Whatever is the objective, they are choosing the right person for that very thing. Now we will look at that why do we need a scholarship. In today's world, we see that higher education is getting more and more expensive, and a number of families are spending most of their savings on the higher education of their children for their better future. But we see that there are many other options available. By finding or by looking these very options, students can very easily fund their education. For example, I will give you the most important source for this is that if students are aware of the scholarships, they can very easily support their college, school or university education. And here I will tell you that some of the major universities are offering such type of scholarships, and there are other charity organizations which are also offering the scholarships to fund the education of the deserving candidates. But the most important thing is that no one will hand the scholarship to you without your serious efforts. And if you are doing serious efforts, then you will see the results. And it is basically the duty of the student to demonstrate those qualities that show that you are the person who deserves this scholarship. We see that there are a number of organizations and they are adopting different strategies for these very scholarships. Some of the scholarships only need documents or an application, but we see that most of the scholarship programs, they require you to appear in an interview. And in today's lesson, we are focusing on this type of interview where the students or where the interviewee, he will prepare for a scholarship interview. So what are the objectives of these very scholarship interviews? Scholarship is basically an award of financial aid, and these financial aids are for students. And why they are offering these scholarships? They want that they obtain or they acquire their education at different levels, like at school, college and university. And we have these very financial aids for studies within the country, and some of the organizations and some of the universities, they offer scholarships for students abroad. And we see that these scholarships, one of the objective of such type of scholarship is to create competition among the students, and we see that it provides equal opportunities to the needy students to rise high. So these scholarships are basically incentives for outstanding academic performances, and on the other hand, it creates an opportunity for improvement within a country. For example, countries like Pakistan, we see that when HEC or the foreign organizations, they offer scholarships to the students. In this way, we see an improvement in the education system of Pakistan, even in the overall scenario of the education of Pakistan. So these are the objectives of scholarship. Now we move towards the preparation for scholarship interview, and the first step is to gather information. So before appearing in a scholarship interview, the most important thing is that students should do research before their interview. But the question is that what should they research? Well, the requirements of information, they vary from one interview to the next interview. However, we see that there are some common starting points that apply nearly in every situation. So the most important thing is that interviewee should review the requirements of the scholarship. What is the benefit of reviewing these requirements? The benefit is that this will give you the insight into the organization's priorities, that what are the needs of that organization that is offering that scholarship. And this may even tell you that what they will ask you in the interview. Then comes that you should not just review the requirements of the scholarship, you should also get some background information of the organization that is offering that scholarship. When you will be studying the background information of that organization, for example, you go on the net and you search the web page of that organization, there you should focus on the mission statement of that organization. The second important thing is that you should critically study about us section of that website. And in the end, you should evaluate and analyze the recent news announcements which they did on their website. In this way, you will learn about the requirements and what are the main concerns of that organization. In this way, you will learn about their main concerns or the priorities, and it will help you to adjust your responses or to adjust your answers to the scholarship interview questions. And the last important thing is that you should reread the content of your scholarship essay or you should reread the contents of the whole application which you have submitted for this scholarship. And when you will reread that content, it will provide you further information on the discussion that is going to be in the coming interview. Because the interviewers, their first priority is to evaluate the information that you have provided in your scholarship essay or the statement in the application. So you should refresh your memory. It will help you to speak on the content that you have given in your scholarship essay or statement in the application. So after that, you should go over other documents you have submitted along with your application, because the interviewers, they might ask questions about those documents. After that, we have to prepare the common interview questions. It might not be possible for anyone to anticipate or guess every question that might be asked in the interview, but there are certain questions that are almost guaranteed to come up in every interview. And the first most important question is introduce yourself. In this question, they are asking that tell us about yourself. And this is the most important question, because it tells that how much you know yourself. In the interview, you will be talking about yourself. So most of the questions in the interview are very much connected to your past, your present, and even to your future ambitions in your life. For example, tell us about your greatest strength, or tell us about your greatest weakness. He can ask you that give us an example of one of your greatest achievements, or even he can inquire about that tell us about a mistake you made. So he can also make an inquiry about that tell us about a personal achievement that makes you proud, that what type of achievement you did in your life and that makes you proud, and you very proudly present that very thing to the others. So other questions are like, who has been a role model for you, or why do you deserve this scholarship? That is one of the most important questions, that why do you deserve this scholarship? So you should prepare the answer, the suitable answer for this question, that you are the right man who deserve this scholarship. And after that, very connected question to this is that what are your career goals, and where do you see yourself in the coming 5 years? And in the same way, he asked the question that how do you plan to spend the money if you get the award, because they want to see that you are not going to waste their money. So another important question could be that what activities are you involved in? So such type of questions are often repeated in the scholarship interviews. So you should make sure that you are ready to talk about these aspects of your life, and you should talk in a structured and systematic manner. So I am suggesting you that you should prepare your answers in a well structured and systematic manner. So after this list of questions, I will suggest you that when you prepare the expected questions for your interview, then after that you should prepare the answers for these very questions. And the most important thing, which I told you in the last lecture, that is that you should practice your answers. Even you arrange a fake and dummy interview where your friend asks these questions from you, and you reply him in the same manner as if you are sitting in the real interview. So these are the important tricks to perform well and to prepare your scholarship interview. In the end of this slide, I will suggest you to know your resume and profile well, because the most important question is tell us about yourself. And it is very important that you should know yourself very well. If you will be having sufficient knowledge about your resume, then it will be very easy to discuss these very things with your interviewers. After that, here I am giving you the qualities that interviewers are looking for. When they are conducting these interviews, they are trying to find out the candidates those have these qualities. So what are the qualities that interviewers are looking for when they conduct interviews? These qualities are that the candidate must be having passion and enthusiasm in his life. And the second factor is that he should be confident, and he should have the individual characteristics. If he is having individuality and he is distinct from others, then he will be the choice of the interviewers. Another important quality of a good candidate is the consistency and the positive attitude. And then comes the speaking skills, teamwork, analytical skill, and if the student is participating in extracurricular activities, it shows that he is a passionate, confident, and he is a person who is having a positive attitude. Here you should note down that I haven't listed here your academic achievements, that they are looking for academic achievements in the students. The reason is that you have been shortlisted for this interview because you are an excellent student and you have proved that you have a good academic record. So for that reason I haven't listed the academic achievements in this very slide, and just listed the other important qualities which interviewers are seeking in the scholarship interviews, because you already proved that you are an excellent student. In these interviews you have to prove your other skills which I have listed here. So now let's move towards the choice of the proper attire, and that is again very important aspect of an interview, because first impression is the last impression, and your clothing is part of that impression. So I will suggest you to dress professionally, because it shows that you put an extra effort to look presentable for your scholarship interview panel. So you should dress in a way that might appear professional. It also shows that you are a mature adult, and it depicts that you are serious to get that very scholarship. So from this very thing that you should dress professionally, I mean that you should wear dress shirts and dress pants, or you should wear a suit and tie, and in shoes you should select a pair of dress shoes, and I will strictly recommend that you should not wear jeans, t-shirts or slippers when you are appearing before the interview panel. But as I told you that you should wear dress shirts, pants, or a suit and tie, but here I want to emphasize this very thing, that if you don't have a dress pant shirt or a suit and tie, you need not to worry. You go with your traditional Pakistani dress. I mean that you should wear neat and clean shalwar kameez and waistcoat with sober Pakistani shoes, and that will really serve best for your purpose. If you are not having the English dress shirt pants or a suit and tie, you should go with the Pakistani traditional dress, and inshallah that will also serve the purpose, and be confident about that. Don't worry. After that, you should take some time to style your hairs and get a haircut, trim and clean your nails, pay attention on other basic must do of cleanliness. Take bath, prepare yourself for interview. That shows that you are serious to get that scholarship. Now we move towards planning on the day before your interview. So the most important thing is that you should set out your clothes, and after that you review instructions that are being provided by the interviewer or that organization. In this, the most important points are the interview time, where to park, or who to find when you arrive there at that office. These are very important things. And after that, you should gather your necessary documents. If the documents are required, you should gather all your necessary documents the day before your interview. Even you should plan your breakfast and review and time your travel route to the site. From this I mean that plan to arrive at interview location approximately 15 minutes before the start of the interview, because there can be unexpected traffic, and that unexpected traffic can create problems for you. So you should review and time your travel route to the site. After that, the last thing is that you should set multiple alarms, such like one alarm when you have to start getting ready, or one alarm when you have to leave your home or that place where you are staying, and you can set other alarms too. But from all this preparation, I am not saying that you get yourself tense. The most important thing is that you should stay relaxed, and the same is the title of the next slide, that stay relaxed on the day of the interview. It is very important to stay relaxed on the day of your interview, and for this the most important thing is that you arrive earlier at the location where the organization has called you, and you should go there and settle down there. And when you are sitting there, you should breathe deeply and overcome all the tensions. So the most important thing is that you should stay relaxed on the day of your interview. Again, I will remind you, you should dress properly, and you should remain polite and friendly, keep smiling there, and be confident, because the committee has already considered you worthy for the award of this scholarship, and for that reason they have invited you for the interview. They have shortlisted you, so you should remain confident that they are satisfied with your academic achievements and the other potentials you have written in your application, and for that reason they have shortlisted you. So you should remain positive on the day of interview. And now I will give you some tips on that what should you do during your interview that will make your performance in the interview a success. And the most important thing is that stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. It doesn't mean that you get too comfortable during your interview, and you should sit straight, but stay relaxed. Be polite, be confident, as I told you earlier, that they have shortlisted you and you have the guts that you can get that very scholarship. You should remain confident. And one of the tip to show your confidence is that you keep an eye contact with your interviewers. Here I am giving you a strict instruction that don't use your mobile at all during your interview. Keep it on the silent mode, or even leave it outside the room where they are conducting the interview. Be honest. Do not say things that are not true. Even you should avoid things that are half true. Be honest and be a good listener. Pay close attention to what the interviewer is saying. Do not talk too much uselessly, and be a good listener. And for this, I will suggest you that you should use positive, appropriate language. Don't be overconfident. If your questions are going right and if you are performing well, even then you don't get overconfident. So you should take care to the answers and give your answers in a very systematic way. One another suggestion is don't move your hands too much and try to match your voice tone with your body language. So these are some of the suggestions, and when you will act on these suggestions, it will prove that you are an attentive person, you are a confident person, you are a goal-oriented person, and you are a keen listener. You show the maturity that you are eager to get that very scholarship, and you are focused. So these qualities automatically proves that you are the right person for this very job. So again, I will repeat all the important points which we covered in this very lesson. The most important thing is that you should know the objectives of that very scholarship for which you are appearing in the interview. You should gather information about that organization, and you should gather information about that scholarship. For that, when you will analyze the information and you will visit the website page of that organization, it will be very easy for you to prepare the interview questions. And when you prepare those questions, you should also prepare the answers of those questions. Later on, you should practice those answers so that you remain confident during your interview. After that, I have given you some qualities which the interviewers are looking for, and then I have given you some suggestions about your clothing and the plannings which you can do day before your interview, and the things you have to do on the day of the interview, and the points which you have to keep in your mind during your interview. So that is the whole discussion about how to prepare for a scholarship interview. I think now you will be having better information about the topic. So thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.